Hey y'all, what's up? Eric Johnson back with y'all again with another live stream video. I have been gone for a while, just been dealing with stuff, in my life. Don't want to go into details about it. For those who know, salute. I want to give a special shout out to a brother who's doing a live stream right now. Shout out to my brother Afro Elite. Go subscribe to his channel. I should have put his link to his channel in the description. He's having a perfect good topic on one of these people within our community who's supposed to be a so-called scholar when it comes to Black empowerment. He is the so-called Prince of Pan-Africanism. For those who don't know, who care not to know, or who already know and don't want me to go into extreme details about it, y'all already know who I'm talking about. If y'all haven't already seen the picture within my live stream video, if y'all clicked on it already, y'all know it's upside down, inside out, round, and all over the place. We are going to be talking about Mr. Dr. Umar Johnson, allegedly, and his opinions on Black people, foundational Black Americans, getting a reparations check, and him giving his opinions about it. Hey, SF9 Sports Nation, how you doing? Nice to see you up in here. I'm going to put the link to my brother Afro Elite's channel. Very sophisticated, intelligent brother right there. Just got to go to my channel, then we'll get started. I missed y'all over these past couple of weeks. I just got to put this link in the description for y'all to go subscribe to my brother Afro Elite's channel. Good brother right there. If you haven't already been a subscriber of his channel, here's the link to the description to his channel right here. I already put it in the comment section. I think this is the link right here, if I'm not mistaken. But before we get started, I'm going to read the fair use copyright disclaimer, because I am getting this information coming from a different channel who Dr. Umar Johnson did do an interview with these dudes a couple of weeks ago. It is coming from the Daily Wrap-Up crew. I think they're a podcast or a channel. I might be mistaken by that. I think they're a podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it says that Dr. Umar Johnson's shocking take on reparations. You won't believe what he said about it. I'm not really shocked when it comes to him speaking on Black people when it comes to us getting anything, but for him to talk about reparations in a negative manner, and he's supposed to be about Black empowerment, and he's speaking on reparations being a negative factor when it comes to Black Americans within our community, I just find it really disheartening and really disgusting from an unstable creature such as Dr. Umar Johnson to be talking about reparations and what we need and what we don't need when it comes to Black American people. So I will be reading the copyright disclaimer right now. I have put the link to it in the description of my live stream. I got the information right here. I will be reading that off in a couple of minutes, and I already got it on my in my chat. Here's the copyright shit. Here's the copyright disclaimer link right here for all my YouTube people. So I don't want to get a copyright claim because I already got one strike off my channel. Hip hip hooray. I'm praying to God I can make it to July 28th because I will no longer have any strikes on my channel. I have one strike on my channel. I'm trying to get both of them off. So I've been doing like most of my stuff on my backup channel, EJ94, for those who don't know already. If you haven't subscribed to my backup channel, EJ94, go on to subscribe to it already. Matter of fact, I will put the link to the channel in the chat for those who haven't already subscribed to my channel, my backup channel. I'm just laying back in the cut trying to, take one day at a time, just get the link to that channel and go back to my main channel, copy and paste it. Then we'll get it started in a couple of more minutes. But yeah, tell me how y'all doing out there on these YouTube streets. Tell me how y'all been doing on y'all's channels for those who are content creators. I want to give a special shout out to my main man, my main mellow, LB. Go subscribe to his channel, the political and sports channel of LB. Here's my backup channel right here, EJ94, which I already put in the description, in the chat. Sorry about that. It should pop up in a couple of more seconds. Here it goes. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, my backup channel, EJ94, here's the link to the channel right here. It'll send you right to it. And with that being said, we're about to get started in a couple of more seconds. I repeat, I'm getting this information from the Daily Wrap-Up crew. I'm going to play y'all the audio. I would show y'all the video, though, but I kind of don't know how to, do the little screen-on-screen situation. It's kind of like real hard for me to do. So we just definitely going to play the audio. We're going to stop. Then I'm going to give my opinions on some of the things Mr. Johnson done said. And it's crazy that this dude got my last name. And he's out here talking real negative about Black American people getting reparations in a negative manner. He's talking about what we're going to do with the money, what we shouldn't do with the money, etc., etc. But besides that, I am going to read the copyright disclaimer, the Fair Use Act of 1976, and I'm going to show it to y'all because I'm trying to be real extra careful. Let me just show y'all my screen. Here's the Copyright Act of 1976. And I'm going to read it out to y'all so I won't get into any goods trouble. Don't want to get into no goods trouble. All right. Fair use copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Now that we got that out of the way, we're going to go to the video and we're going to get it started. We're just going to go layer by layer, brick by brick, just like a Pusha T diss track to Drake.
So, how should reparations be paid? And, why do you think that, because there was a poll recently where they asked, non-Black, Americans or just non-Black people if Black people deserve reparations, and overwhelmingly they said no. So why do you think that non-Black people said, these are non-Black people, non-Black?
The reason why non-Black people said that Black American people shouldn't get reparations is because they're not qualified for reparations. This is a lineage-based situation when it comes to Black American people finally getting what we truly deserved. Me being a Black American and coming from the soil of the United States of America, and my ancestors being shackled in chains and being enslaved in the plantations of the American South and beyond the United States of America within the 50 states, because slavery was somewhat everywhere, not only in the South. You had slavery in California and you had slavery within other areas of the United States of America. And for those who don't come from the soil of the United States of America, those who come from immigrant backgrounds, when it comes for them talking about what Black Americans need and don't need, y'all should not be authorized to be talking about Black Americans in our fight for reparations. You used to be on code and be having a B1 mindset when it comes to us getting our reparations. To see me as a normal Black American person, and I want to see truly justice for not only Black American people, but for all Black melanated people from around the world who has an uncode B1 mindset. I want to see us as a people and as a race of people do good. I just don't want to see Black American people do good. I want to see Black American people do good in other countries. I want to see Black people do good in Africa. I want to see Black people do good in the UK. I want to see Black people do good in the Caribbean. I want to see Black people do good in Australia. I want to see Black melanated people do good in Mexico, Central America, who has an uncode mindset. Because see, when it comes to these Black foreigners and these other ethnic groups from a non-FBA background They want to talk about what we need to be getting, what we need to get, how we should use our reparations, what type of reparations we should get. You should not be authorized or even have an opinion about what we should be getting and what we shouldn't be getting. And Mr. Umar Johnson is one of these people within our community somewhat, because his lineage is somewhat shaky, because he's saying he one of Frederick Douglass' long lost relatives or a descendant of the late great Frederick Douglass. This dude comes from an immigrant background, allegedly. They saying that this brother is Cuban. Even though if this dude comes from an immigrant background, you should not be speaking negative on what Black Americans need, and you supposed to be the so-called prince of Pan-Africanism, and you want to be so in tune with your brothers and sisters all over the world. We're going to keep it moving on the video.
People, why do you think they don't think that Black Americans deserve reparations, and how would you go about giving reparations to Black Americans?
Good question. First of all, why does the opinion of an Asian matter at all? You were not an enslaver. You were not an enslaved. You understand me? Why? What does the opinion of someone who had nothing to do with my tragedy, why does their opinion even matter? I'll tell you why it matters.
And I'm glad he said that. That's one of the only things I agree with this dude right here. You coming from an immigrant background and not coming from the soil, you should not have no authorization to be talking about what Black Americans need to be getting when it comes to our reparations claim. See, you don't see Black American people talking about Asians don't need to get anything, Latinos don't need to get anything, illegals don't need to get anything. In my opinion, none of these illegals of any immigrant background should be getting benefits if they come into America, they sneaking into America and just causing all mischiefs and trying to blame it on Black American people. They should not be authorized to get a damn over Black Americans who've been here since the beginning of time. Black melanated people was on the soil from the beginnings of time, created America with the small percentage of Africans who came from slavery, mixed in with the Aboriginal people who comes from a native/Negro background. That's what makes a Black American. We are an admixture of different types of people. So for other people to be coming from an immigrant background to be talking about what we need and what we don't need, you don't see Black people as a group talking about Asians don't need to get this when it comes to them actually getting something in their community. If they getting something in their community and it's helping them, I'm fine with that. But when it comes to Black people, y'all want to be talking about what we need and what we don't need. See, that's that bullshit I don't like when it comes to other people coming from immigrant backgrounds. I don't care if you white. I don't care if you yellow. I don't care if you the color of a pack of Skittles. If you're talking about Black folks and what they need to be getting as a benefit within our community to help us empower ourselves in the next manner, you don't need to be talking about that. When we trying to get something within our community, you don't need to be talking about that or even have the access or even need to fix your lip to talk about that.
America wants to create this illusion of a multicultural society where race don't matter. And America knows, because everybody wants to be here so badly, they don't have a problem shitting on Black people to improve their relationship with the white power structure.
I agree with him on that too. See, these people come from immigrant backgrounds. They get amongst these white folks and they want to get real chummy with white mommy and white daddy. They start losing themselves from where they came from. They don't care about where they came from. They run to America. They flee their countries. They flee their problems and want to come to America and get in tune with these other people, white mommy, white daddy.
So if you ask the Asian, do Black people deserve reparations? Of course not. You ask the Arab, do Black people deserve reparations? Of course not. You ask the European Jew, who got reparations? Do Black people deserve reparations? Of course not. But we should not be surprised. If I don't value Black life, why the hell would I care about you receiving compensation for unpaid labor, damages, and harm? They don't value African life. So of course they don't give a damn about you getting no reparations. You understand me? Right. Because they're not approaching this question from an issue of justice or perspective of justice or equality. They're approaching this question from a perspective of...
And I'm looking at the comments in this video, And some of these people have lost their damn minds. This dude do not need to be a part of no reparations panel. He don't need to be part of nothing when it comes to reparations. He don't even need to be a part of certain things when it comes to black people in our community and certain topics and certain things that we need to do. Because he is coming from a negative perspective when it comes to us getting reparations. What's up, Cruz? How you doing, brother? Long time no see. We just talking about this dude, Dr. Umar Johnson, talking about reparations in a negative manner. I'm just going through the video, giving my opinions about it and stuff. So we're just gonna keep it moving.
Racism, bigotry, bias, and discrimination. Right. Nobody wants black people to get anything because they want to take your place. You understand me? The Asian don't want you doing better than them in America. You understand? The Arab don't want you doing better than them in America. The European Jew don't want you doing better than them in America. The Latinos don't want you doing better than them in America. So of course, if somebody put a microphone in their mouth and say, should black people get something that you're not going to get, why would they say yes? They prefer us to be a punching bag. Absolutely. And my question is, it's none of your business. All right. This is an issue between black people and white people. What the Chinese man thinks is irrelevant. What the Latino thinks is irrelevant. What the European Jew thinks is irrelevant. What the Arab thinks is irrelevant. You're not the enslaved or the enslaver. Who the hell cares what you think about?
It wasn't only white people that enslaved black American people. You had some of these other people from other backgrounds having slaves. So I don't know if we don't know that or not. You had Asians being slave owners. You had all types of other people from other backgrounds. Irish people, Miss Squirrely Things, aka Pearly Things. The Irish had a big major part in the slave trade. A lot of these people who come from immigrant backgrounds want to rub dirt in their eyes and say that they didn't have nothing to do with slavery. And it wasn't only the white man who had something to do with slavery. You had some of these other people in other ethnic backgrounds who had something to do with slavery. So when these other people come into America talking about, I didn't have no slaves in my family, none of my ancestors owned slaves. No, you had other people from other backgrounds owning slaves. White folks, Asians, Jewish people, Irish people, all types of people who was on the slaves back then. It was German people. It was all types of people coming from different backgrounds to make money off the backs of black American people within the slave trade. And still making money like that to this day.
But because we're so multicultural, the power structure can use those non-black opinions against us. Because they can say, since you see the Latino as your brother and sister, since you see the Arab as your brother and sister, and we are all Americans, because black people love that Americanism, right. Which is another reason why we're not going to get reparations, because the white man knows you.
Sorry about that. It's on a commercial. And he already saying that since we repping the soil over here in America, that we're not going to get reparations because we're Americanized. And for this dude to be talking about us being so Americanized and we're not going to be reparations, since you calling yourself the Prince of Pan-Africanism, why are you not over there in Africa, in these African countries? There's 54 countries in Africa. Africa is a whole continent. Now think about this. If he's supposed to be the Prince of Pan-Africanism, why is he over there with the African brothers and sisters helping them? He's in America talking about this Pan-Africanism stuff. He's in America trying to get his message out to his people that he's cool with. So if he's supposed to be the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong consciousness, Big Gorilla, Mr. Pan-Africanism himself, then why isn't he not over there in Africa helping those brothers and sisters in Africa? I just want to know that when it comes to people representing Pan-Africanism. I don't have my problems with some of these people representing Pan-Africanism, but some of these folks get their stuff mixed up. They get the message mixed up when it comes to black empowerment and actually want to see people do better. They keep saying that we need to go back to Africa, go back to Africa, go back to Africa, but you got people coming from Africa coming to America, fleeing their country to come to America for a better life. We have seen stories of black American people going back to the motherland trying to get in tune with their African roots, because my ancestry go all over the place in Africa when it comes to me. And when I did my ethnic background and I did my, ancestry and seeing where I come from, my shit came back here to the soil. Yes, I have an admixture of some of everything, such as most people from different ethnic backgrounds. So he's telling people to go back to Africa when you have Black American people not even being able to go back to Africa or even being able to get dual citizenship in some of these African countries. So how are we going to get in tune with Africa when some of these African people in these African countries and their African leaders don't want to give us dual citizenship? So if he's supposed to be the prince of Pan-Africanism, you need to tell it on both sides. You need to tell the positives and the negatives. You need to tell how these African countries don't want to see us back over there. And since they coming over here, fleeing over here, running away from their problems, you need to tell them, don't be leaving your countries in shambles. Go back and help your people for the ones who want to help.
They love that Americanism, which is another reason why we're not going to get reparations, because the white man knows you would rather be an American and get reparations. If you got to choose between the two, most Black people want that red, white, and blue flag more than anything else, right? And so as a result of that...
First of all, the American flag was made by a Black woman. Let's get that straight. The Juneteenth flag represents our people within the soil of the United States of America. Say what you want to say about the Juneteenth colors. People be talking about the green, black, and red, the RBG flag. People be talking about the Juneteenth flag, even the FBA flag. We're representing where we come from within the United States of America. I don't know nothing about Africa. I'm not in tune with the continent. Never been a day in my life. All I know is that my African ancestry made me with a mixture of my native Black American ancestry, made me into the Black American man I am today. Even if I could go back to Africa, where are my ancestors at in Africa? They're scattered all over the place. African people have a different admixture of different places within Africa. The history of Africa, the tribes, the wars, the different types of people that comes from Africa. Some of them don't even know where they come from in Africa. So he's talking about we're representing the American flag, which is a negative manner, which is a negative thing within his mindset. I'm just representing where I come from. I can tell you right now, in my room, I got an FBA flag. I got an African flag representing my ancestors who came from slavery. Hell, I even got an RBG flag. I got a Juneteenth flag. A lot of these people just be getting stuff mixed up when it comes to us representing our people. I know where I come from. I'm a Black American, and I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of my people. And we deserve reparations. What's wrong with that? But this dude right here just has such a disdain for certain people within our community, with us not wanting to represent Pan-Africanism. Black people in America was representing Pan-Africanism to the fullest since the beginning of time. It has never been a two-sided. It has never been represented on a two-sided street. Black folks in America have been representing for their brothers and sisters in Africa since the beginning of time of all ethnic groups. But we haven't got that same respect and that same, backup from the other people on the other side.
The power structure can then say, since you consider yourself to be a part of the family of America, most of us don't think y'all should get reparations. So why don't we put it on the next federal election and see how many Americans think Black people should get reparations? And then they could just block out the whole thing.
We don't need to go through all that. We don't need to go through all that, sir. Asians didn't go through that. Latinos didn't go through that. You definitely know white folks don't go through that. Gay people don't go through that. The LGBTQ don't go through that. So why should we be going through? Why should we be going through obstacle courses for Black Americans to get what they truly deserve, which is cash, which is reparations in the forms of cash. With the money, you can do whatever you want to with it. You don't tell these other folks from these other backgrounds what they should and what they shouldn't be doing with their money. So why are you telling black people what they should and what they shouldn't be doing with their money? You're not authorized to be telling us what to do with our money, sir. Who are you? You're not a leader within the black community. There are not a lot of leaders out here within the black community. The code is the leader. Being on code, caring about your people, that's the code. We don't need no leaders out here when it comes to us getting our reparations. We just need us as a people to be on code and fight for what we need to get as a people. Who is the leader of Asians? Who is the leader of Mexican people? Who is the leader of white folks? Who is the leader of all these other ethnic backgrounds who actually getting something from the United States government? But we have to go through obstacle courses as black people within America to get what we should get. Who's the leader of Nigerians? Who's their leader? Who's representing Nigerians? Who's representing these other African people from their backgrounds when they come to Africa? Who's representing the Caribbeans? Who's the leader of Jamaicans? Who's the leader of the Trinidadians? Who's the leader of the Haitians? Who are these leaders?
Say most Americans don't think this is a good thing for the country. You see? And you know how they were able to do that?
I don't give a fuck what this dude say. The whole country can turn into a third world country for all I care. If it means for black Americans to get reparations finally, which is long overdue, I don't care if it crashed the stock market. I don't care if you see white folks out here on the ground crying tears. I don't care what these other people say from these other backgrounds. Reparations is owed to black American people. Ain't no trick bag tactics that you can say about. You can't use anything else to say that black Americans don't need reparations. You don't need no vote. You don't need no topics talking about this. And you definitely don't need these other people from these other backgrounds claiming that they're American, knowing damn well if some shit pop up in America on some red done shit, these dudes gonna scatter like roaches and run back to their country.
Because we started identifying with this country more than ourselves. Should have never bought into this American citizenship garbage. We should have never allowed that. Just like we should have never bought into people of color. We should have never bought into minority. We should have never bought into disadvantaged communities. All of these are labels that clump you in with all non-white people that allows the government to take care of their needs and never take care of yours. Right. And nobody even see you not being taken care of because guess what? Your issues are being smothered by Arab issues, Latino issues, Chinese issues, homosexual issues. So nobody even realized black people still suffering because you allowed yourself to be defined in such a way that other groups.
What are we supposed to define ourselves as then? Because we're defining ourselves now. The white supremacists, the white society always labeled us as Negro, always labeled us as different ethnic backgrounds, always identified us. We never identified ourselves back then. We was always labeled as Negroes, labeled as black, colored. So he's saying that we've been Americanized. We're from the soil. We made our own standing within America and all over the world. We didn't need white supremacy or these other people to label us. We labeled ourselves now, sir. I am a black American. I am proud to be from the soil. I can't go to these other countries and get in tune with these other people, even though they come from a melanated background, even though some of them identify as black. Most of them don't identify as black as a group. You have individuals. I can't go to Africa and be truly an African, just like you can't go to Africa and be truly an African. You might think you the Prince of Pan-Africanism, but they ain't gonna look at you as the same. They ain't gonna truly look at you as an African. It's like if you half black American or half white, you can't go to these other people in the white society and truly be white. You can't go to Mexico and truly be a full-blooded Mexican if you have black ancestry. They ain't gonna look at you the same.
Were included with you. That's the worst thing you can do as a people with such a unique history as we have in this country. We have to stand up and stand out like a sore thumb. But because most black people have been brainwashed by church that being race first is a sin, right? And because most black people have a low racial self-esteem problem, the last thing they want to do is stick out. We are...
Sir, Mr. Umar Johnson, we are the culture. Black American people are the culture. We are the thriving point of this country. We can be in the background and not do anything, and we still stick out. That's how great we are. We've been doing this since the beginning of time. So for this dude to be talking about what we need to do and what we don't need to do, we stick out. We can't help that we're great, sir. Just because you don't like that, we can't help because we're great. During the trials and tribulations of the United States of America, Black American people have been innovators, have been revolutionaries, have been some of the most greatest people this world have ever seen within human time. We have done so much. And for this dude to say that we've been Americanized, it's just crazy. So what we supposed to do, go back to Africa? What we gonna go back to Africa for? How we gonna leave a place where we was born and raised and where we came from to run back to a country that don't even care about some of their own people, ain't even helping their own people? There's certain parts of Africa that's doing better with white folks in it than the native people. You got people in Africa tying kids up and putting them in bags to sell them. Mutilation. You got a war in Sudan. Civil wars all over the place in Africa. You want us to go back to that? We're dealing with white supremacy not only in America, but we'll deal with it in Africa too. You're going to have to deal with all those other people in Africa. So you want us to run from a problem that we're trying to handle over here to run to another problem in another country that I don't know nothing about. The rules are different over there. The game is different over there. They play by different rules over there. At least in America, I know that the system of white supremacy, I know I can deal with it. Some of them people don't deal with white supremacy the same over there like they deal with it over here. White supremacy is a worldwide phenomenon.
Too neurotic about being black. We are too insecure about being black. We are too anxious about being black. We don't want to stick out. We want to blend in. And
that is not true. We don't stick out and blend in. We just in it. We in it to win it. We don't stick out. We don't blend in. We just it. Black Americans are the shit. It's just that damn simple. We got so much flavor. We got so much style. We got so much pizzazz about ourselves. We can't help because we're great, sir. I can't help that. I'm the most quietest person when I need to be. But when I talk and when I have to handle my business, I handled it as a black man. Just like anybody else from a different background. They're going to handle their business how they handled it. I'm going to handle my business just like a black American person is supposed to. Proud about my people. And ain't nobody going to change it.
That's how that multicultural weapon was used.
But what about, because, right now when we're having this conversations, there's a lot of words being interchanged. We got African Americans, we got blacks, so some people would say that Black Americans have an identity crisis. We don't know if we want to identify as black.
We don't have an identity crisis. I know where I'm from. I know that I'm from the United States of America. I was born in Athens, Georgia, April 18th, 1994. I know where I come from. I know where my roots at. My people's roots are here. My people's roots are within America. I can't help where I'm from, man. It's just like anybody else coming from an ethnic background. They can't help where they from. I can't help that I was born within the system of white supremacy. I can't help that I'm from America. I'm a black American. It's just that damn simple.
If you want to be African American, we got FBA, we got Moors, we got all these different terms to describe black indigenous slaves, or you get what I'm saying? So do you think that black people in America have an identity crisis?
I think most black people in the world have an identity crisis. You got to remember, when a white man went into the Caribbean, if you were a British subject, you may have called yourself British. If you went into French West Africa, there are Africans who might still consider themselves subjects of the French Empire. You understand me? Most Africans globally have an identity crisis because we have been conquered by white people. Remember, only once upon a time, the only independent country you had on the face of this earth that was black was Ethiopia. That's the only free black country on the face of the earth at one time. And we were forced to do what? Speak our oppressor's language, wear his clothes, worship through his religion, and identify with his flag. Right. So we all had, and many of us still have, an identity crisis. Now, as far as all the different ideologies and political ideologies, here's what I say to that. I don't give it a lot of attention because I think most black people know they're from Africa. Right. So when people...
Sir, only a small percentage of Africans came to America. Most of them went to South America. He know that too. I know I have African ancestry. I know that some of my ancestors came from Africa, but there were already black melanated people within America. So that's not going to work, sir. There are different types of people that came from Africa. They just spread it out. They became something different. You don't go to Jamaica and call them Jamaican Africans. You don't go to Haiti and call them African Haitians. Hell, you don't even go to the Dominican Republic and call them African Dominicans. They're Dominican. They have their own background. They have their own history, just like these other backgrounds. So they might have African ancestry, but they're from somewhere else. Do some African people truly know who they are in Africa?
Lie and say you're not from Africa, you're a Cherokee or a Choctaw, this or that. Most black people have enough common sense and command of the history to know where they came from. I mean, you have DNA analysis now. We don't even have to debate this philosophically. We can find out genetically. Give some blood and let's see if the Cherokee Nation comes up on the damn paperwork.
I have African ancestry in my DNA. I have European ancestry in my DNA. But when it comes to where I'm truly from, it's gonna go to the United States of America. I did my ancestry. My birth certificate says I'm from Athens, Georgia. I am from the United States of America. I'm an American citizen. I cannot be deported. Some of these other people, when they come from these other countries and they have to apply for their citizenship, they have to apply for their green card, they can be deported if they act up. If they're off code, if they're making enough trouble, they can be deported. So for him saying that black people don't know where they come from within America, that's asinine. Where do you truly come from, Mr. Umar Johnson? Do you come from the soil of the United States of America? Clearly you don't, because allegedly you have a Cuban background, from what I heard, Mr. Prince of Pan-Africanism. And I just want to say this too, because I'm not going to be on here too long. I just want to know, when you going to build the school? How long has this school been how long has this school been in the how long have this school been talked about? Of you trying to build the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey School? I just want to know, what's the process of the school being built? Because he can talk about a lot of people, not only on YouTube in real life, for what they're doing and getting things done, but this dude ain't even got his school done. What's the development? What's the process? What's the updates of his school actually finally being open? Because it's been about 35 years since this school hasn't been open. I just want to know. I'm gonna have to skip through some of this and see where the reparations topic is gonna be at. So I'm gonna have to go on mute for y'all, and I'm gonna go back to the video, the time in the video where he's gonna talk about the reparations.
You understand?
Right.
I'm a Pan-Africanist, but name me a school psychologist who puts some more work for our kids than me right here in America. Nobody.
See, now he's smelling his own shit because he's saying these psychiatrists in America don't put in enough work as he does. I just want to say this too. Since you put in so much work as a psychologist, what's the update on your school, sir? I just want to know that since you talking so much shit about reparations and what we need and what we don't need.
Historically, there's no psychologist who's ever done for black people what I've done for black people as it relates to training parents and making sure they can protect their children. I'm the greatest in that area, but I'm still a Pan-Africanist. Why can't I do two things at once?
Right.
I'm going to Johannesburg next month, Ethiopia next month, Guadeloupe, Jamaica. I could still be in the streets of Philadelphia protesting. I could still be in New York handling what I got to do. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Our problems are multi-systemic, and the solutions must be multimodal as well. We just can't put all eggs in one basket and wait for that basket.
We ain't trying to do that. We out here doing different things as black people within America. And some people in other places in the world are doing different things. We're not just thinking about the reparations discussion. We're thinking about other things for our people, to empower our people. So why would we just put our eggs in one basket when we can put different eggs in different baskets to take care of different situations?
To sell before we get another basket. That's ridiculous. You're working on something while he's working on something, while you're working on something, while I'm working on something, while he's working on something. There is no one problem at a time.
We didn't say that because under the system of white supremacy, it's never just going to be one problem. White supremacy is in everything in society. So why would it just be one problem?
That's ridiculous.
Right. So, what would be your solution to reparations, and how should that be?
The solution is cash payments only. That's the solution. No ifs, ands, or buts. For this Negro to ask this question, this dude right here, let me show y'all. This dude right here asked this question. He said, what is the solution for reparations? Cash payments, sir. That's the only solution. You didn't say nothing about these agents when they got their money. You didn't say nothing about that. You didn't say nothing to these illegal immigrants getting money. You ain't saying nothing to them. But when it comes to black people, y'all want to go through all these loops and holes. Y'all want to jump through fire. Y'all want to jump in the water with sharks. Y'all just want to ask all these stupid questions. The solution is cash reparations. Cash payments, stupid.
Oh, for me, a couple things. Number one, the psychological cost of reparations has not been effectively quantified yet.
Yes, it has. Cash payments in a significant amount. You don't need to do anything psychologically. You don't need to think that hard about reparations for Black American people. Cash reparations, money.
That's being left out of the conversation. You can get more for psychological damage than you could get for unpaid labor. You feel me? 246 years of unpaid labor, that's nothing compared to the psychological terrorism.
We're not just getting that. It's more than that, sir. It's a mixture of what we had to go through, what our ancestors had to go through within the time of slavery. So they're just one main factor within our reparations claim, stupid. It's not just one thing.
That white people has reaped on our ancestors. That's in our soul, in our DNA, in our blood. I don't hear enough people talking about the psychological cost. That's your biggest pay right there. And when I say pay, I don't say cash because I think cash payment is a trap.
Cash payment is not a trap. Cash payments wasn't a trap for these Asians. Cash payments wasn't a trap for these Latinos. Cash payments wasn't a trap for these other ethnic groups coming into the United States of America who's been reaping, raping, and ravaging the benefits from Black American people. So how is it a problem that all these other people can get reparations? They can get reparations in the form of cash. They can get benefits in the forms of cash. They can get anything else as a benefit in the forms of cash, but Black American people can't get reparations in the form of cash. They don't make no damn sense. It's just like me going to work, working for 2 weeks. I'm trying to get my check, and these motherfuckers don't pay me. I get direct deposit. I go to these people and say, hey, where's my check at? Well, do you think you deserve your check? We see you working, Eric, but I don't think you deserve your check. No, man, give me my money. This is a debt that is owed to Black American people. It's just that fucking simple. This dude right here don't need to be talking at all about reparations, let alone anything else when it comes to certain topics within the Black American community. Because this dude, time and time again, had just said some asinine things, has said some coonish things, and has been led to be such an intelligent person when it comes to him being a so-called Pan-Africanist, which he might be. I ain't gonna take that from him. But in certain topics and in certain situations, this nigga don't need to be talking.
I don't have a problem with cash being on the list, but it should not be primary.
Cash is primary.
Especially now, because you have BRICS. Excuse me.
I don't give a fuck about no BRICS. I don't care what they say. The currency is cash. These other people are spending cash. Anything else besides cash is non-negotiable. This is a non-negotiable situation that we're in. Cash payments only. I don't want no free education. I don't want no housing vouchers. I don't want none of that shit. Just pay me my goddamn money. That's all I want. Give me my money. If you want to buy some land, you can use it with cash. Because if you got the land and you don't have the money or the means or the resources to develop that land, then what's the use of having the land if you don't have the money or the resources? Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Money makes the world go round, stupid.
Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, who are about to float their own currency. They're going to tie it to the gold reserves in their countries, and that's going to drop the value of the dollar. Mm-hmm.
The value of the dollar has already been dropping. The value of the dollar goes up and down, up and down, up and down like a stripper on a pole in Magic City. Stuff go up and down every day, sir.
So, if the U.S. dollar is about to plummet, why in the hell would you accept payment for your ancestors' dehumanization through a worthless American dollar?
Yeah.
You niggas still gonna be spending money in America just as long as the currency is good. If dollar is a dollar, you gonna spend it. If you have $10,000, you gonna spend it. If you have 2 pennies to rub together, and if you can buy a piece of bubble gum, you gonna spend that shit. I'm not worried about no fucking brinks. I'm worried about my money. I'm worried about cash reparations for Black American people. It's a problem when Black Americans want to get money. It's a problem when Black Americans want to get reparations. But this motherfucker out here saying that if we get cash reparations, is not going to be worth anything. Cards are just digital money, basically. It's just digital money on a card. That's how I see it. Direct deposit my motherfucking reparations money. Give me that shit in cash, checks. Just give me my money. Just pay what you owe. Stop going through these damn. Stop playing these games. And this nigga Umar Johnson is just not helping. You don't need to be talking about anything. Go over there to the foreign countries and help those so-called people. Since you such a Pan-Africanist, sir. If you such a Pan-Africanist, sir, you need to go to Africa then. You don't need to be in America. You don't need to be in Philadelphia. If you such a Pan-Africanist, if you want to be such in tune with your African brothers and sisters, you need to go to Africa and don't come back then. Don't talk about what we need in America. Don't talk about what we need to get as Black American people. You don't need to be talking about it, sir.
Money is a trap.
Money is money. Money is money with these Asians. Money is money with these Latinos. Money is money definitely to these white folks. You think if they was going through shit, they wouldn't take no money?
These thirsty reparations people, all they want is some money. I mean, let's just be honest.
It's a debt that's old. What you mean? If you had a debt that's owed to you, when you want to get compensated? When you want to get your money? It's like if you bought something from a website it wasn't a good product, you get a refund, you get your money back. It's just like me ordering something and I don't get my money back. Do that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense now. I'm not finna be on here too long because I can't stand to hear this nigga talk no more, man. I'm gonna be on here for a couple more minutes, then I'm gonna wrap it up and we're gonna end it because this nigga making my head hurt, man.
The people talking about reparations just want to check. They have no vision for changing nothing for Black America. They have.
Do some of these other people in their communities have changed when they get money? Do some of these Asians have changed when it comes to them getting money and benefits? Some of them might have changed, but some of them just want to get the money and spend it. You can't tell Black American people what the fuck to do with their money. You can't tell me what to do with my reparations check. If I want to buy clothes, I can do that. If I want to go to Magic City and make it rain on big booty strippers, I can do that. If I want to buy all the... I don't even have to go that far, man. You can't tell people what to do with that money, man.
No history of grassroots struggle. They're YouTubian opportunists, most of them. They're not deep thinkers.
Now this nigga talking about Tyreek. Him and Tyreek been going back and forth for years. Now this nigga keep bringing Tyreek's name up like he got a dick in his mouth. See, this the type of dude that you don't need on your team, because if you shining and if you doing something that's right within the community, this is the type they want to be talking shit about other people when they're actually out here doing something. They actually out here doing something. They ain't talking about it. They been about it. I want to see you open your school up, sir. Don't talk about it, Mr. Pan-Africanism, Mr. Prince of Pan-Africanism, Mr. King Kong Consciousness. Open your school up. Since you got it like that, since you so in tune with being a Pan-Africanist, you should have a place that represent all Pan-Africanists, sir. You should have a place that represent Black people. You should have your school open up, sir. When the school gonna open up, Umar?
I honestly don't think Black people would be financially responsible enough.
Black people have been financially responsible with money since the beginning of time. The system of white supremacy, we had to do things with our resources to stay afloat. They don't make no damn sense. How are you gonna say that Black people ain't gonna be financially responsible with their money when we've been making $1 out of 15 cents? We know how to make chicken. We know chicken shit out of chicken salad. We can make stuff work on a budget, sir. Imagine if we had the resources. Imagine if we had the money as these other people, as these other groups of people. We can make it do what it do, baby. Black Wall Street, man. Oklahoma. Think about these Black communities back then. We was thriving. We was a thriving community. We had resources. We had all types of things within those communities. We had a thriving community. But when it's been devastated by the white supremacists and these other people, and if you're not giving us our resources, what you expect us to do? We have to pay for things. Bills still got to be paid, sir. Certain things come up within certain people's lives.
To use that money. I think we just gonna get that money right back.
You don't say nothing about these other people giving their money back to these white folks. Some of us gonna do wrong with the money, and some of us gonna do right with the money. Why should you be talking about that? As long as we get our fucking money. This is a debt that's owed to Black Americans. This is a debt that's owed to our ancestors. So for niggas like this to be talking about we just gonna spend the money, you don't say that about these other people when they're blowing money with these other people. You niggas don't say nothing about that. But you that same nigga that'll say you don't need to be buying that.
Which is another issue that I have with our approach to reparations. When did we come together and choose people to represent us?
You don't need to come together to represent people. Be one. Black first is the code. Being no code is the code. See, a lot of people just be getting shit mixed up. See, we was at a time when we needed leaders back then. We needed guys like Malcolm X. We needed guys like Martin Luther King. We needed guys like that back then. But we dealing with a new, we're in a new time. We dealing with stuff different now. We can't deal with stuff like our ancestors used to deal with back in the day. We got to deal with it differently. You don't see some of these other people come together Who's the leader of Asians? Who makes the decisions for all Asian people? Who makes the decisions for all white people? Who makes the decisions for all these other ethnic groups? For all these other people?
In this conversation and in this negotiation. Who is it though? People are self-selecting themselves. You know why?
He want to be a part of that. He want to be a part of what black people should do and what we shouldn't do. And me as a black American person, I wouldn't even want this dude having authorization to do my taxes, let alone give me my damn check. So I'm going to end it right here, man. The moral of the story is, Mr. Prince of Pan-Africanism, Dr. Umar Johnson, you don't need to be speaking on anything reparations-wise. You don't need to be speaking on nothing within the black American community when it comes to you shitting on black American people, what we should and what we shouldn't be doing, or what we should or what we shouldn't be getting. Nigga, if you don't want no reparations, fine. Send me your reparations check. Cause dudes like this within our community ain't no good. They're scammers, they're clowns, and they don't talk about nothing, and they ain't doing nothing. If somebody give you a topic or a task to do, and if you can't fulfill it, you're useless, sir. You're useless. See, people believed in you when you was building that school. People believed in you when you said you had an institution for young boys to learn the right way of our black American history, not only within the United States of America, but within the whole world of black melanated people. They believed in you. Years pass, still no school. Years pass, niggas still talking. Years pass, currently still no school. So that's all I have to say about the so-called Prince of Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism, Mr. Umar Johnson. The moral of the story is, you just need to shut up and be quiet when it comes to us and our reparations claim, and for us fighting for our people within the United States of America. And I just want to say salute to the real black brothers and sisters, not only in the United States of America, but within. Sorry about that. I had to check out my phone. I just want to say salute to my real B1 brothers and sisters who come from immigrant backgrounds, who are fighting, who are supporting black American people to get reparations. And no fighting is supporting people who come from black ethnic backgrounds to get their reparations. If it has to do with CARICOM, for the people in the Caribbean, for the brothers and sisters in Africa to get their money, and for the ones in the United Kingdom or anywhere else to get their money as melanated people. So that's all I have to say about this clown Umar Johnson. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me what y'all think of the situation of this sucker talking shit about black Americans and what we need and what we don't need to do when we get our reparations. Because under the global system of white supremacy, this is a battle that needs to be won, not only within the United States of America, but within the whole world. So that's all I have to say. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me what y'all think about it in the comment section, and I will see y'all in the next video.